Hello, my name is Rick Bauer, and I'm a Digital Strategist MVP with the Proficient Sitecore practice. Welcome to Episode 6 of the Sitecordial video channel, designed to help marketers visualize the power of Sitecore Experience Marketing. This series is designed to be progressive training, building off best practices in order on the Sitecore Experience Platform version 8 and 9. If you have not seen the earlier episodes on taxonomy, goals, engagement value, and campaigns, content testing, and rules-based personalization, I recommend you start from the beginning. This episode is focused on the run phase of behavioral-based personalization. If you have watched the previous videos and taken all the best practice steps to get here, congratulations! You are in a full sprint to the goal of realizing a truly personalized experience for your customers and a conservative 19% lift in goal conversions. With rules-based personalization in place, you can fine-tune the journey of your customer based on campaigns, goals triggered, and maybe even IP, location, or device. These are great improvements to help meet or exceed the expectations of your customers. But with a little more effort, you can take this further and start to drive personalization based on the ongoing behavior of your customers as they traverse your site session over session. To be able to start, my hope is that your marketing team has a set of personas, personalities that define your different customer types. These are an ideal starting place when getting to know behavioral personalization, due to the potentially already existing familiarity with this set of resources for your marketing team. If you don't have personas in place, another fantastic set of starter profiles is the use of customer journey stage, for example, awareness or consideration of your product or service, decision or utilization, and ultimately, loyalty and advocacy of your products and/or company. With one or both of these sets available, you have the tools needed to identify and refine your content and to ultimately drive personalization based on behavior. With those pieces in place, let's start to build the necessary elements needed to drive personalization, starting with the use of your marketing personas. From the Launchpad, click on the Marketing Control panel and click the small arrow by Profiles to open up the tree. If you've never used this folder, you will likely see some default examples called Focus, Function, etc. Feel free to have a look at how they are built, but I honestly recommend either putting them into a folder or deleting them. This way you can start with what matters to you and remove any clutter that was there out of the box. These are examples only. Right-click on the Profiles folder. Here you have the option of creating a folder if you need to organize by business unit or website. If you do, then you simply build within that folder, like any other of the folder structures you may have built with goals, campaigns, and so on. In any case, right-click and select Insert, Profile. Give it a unique name like Your Company, Personas, and save. Click on the newly created profile to finish setup. In the case of personas, let's set the type to percentage. You will also want to pay attention to decay rate as well. Since Sitecore 8.1, behavioral profiling continues session over session, and decay rate helps manage the weight given to this type of profiling for consecutive visits. Let's say I'm an avid mountain biker, and my behavior shows that by the way I shop. Session over session, I continue to show a pattern of mountain bike-related purchases. But over time, I develop an interest in road biking. How do we make sure we do not lock a customer into a pattern that they only see mountain bikes when we want to sell them any type of bike? Besides the answer of great navigation and some static content, when it comes to behavioral personalization, we set a decay rate to control how much strength a customer's profile retains from one session to the next. Sticking with my cycling analogy, if I set a decay rate of 60, my mountain bike persona score will only hold 40% of its weight for the return customer, making it that much easier for the persona's pattern to migrate to a road bike persona. One quick note, I say migrate for a reason. As you will see once we start building these patterns, they are constantly evolving. It is that fact that makes them behavioral. They may change constantly with your customer's activity and actions. With the name, type, and decay rate set, your top-level profile is ready for build-out. Don't forget to save. Underneath this persona will live 3 unique but intertwined items: profile keys, which are the root behaviors that are shared with and drive the other 2 items; profile cards, which are made up of a combination of these keys and are placed on pages or assets; and pattern cards, also made up of a combination of the same keys and they drive the personalization rules on specific content. I know, it's a lot of closely named things that start with the letter P. I promise in time this will all be clear, especially after you've built a few. It is best you start with your keys. Right-click on your newly created and saved top-level profile and choose Insert Profile Key. These keys should be attributes or behaviors that make up the persona profile cards you will create next, and again, are common and shared with both the profile cards and pattern cards under this top-level profile. Give it a name, which will autofill the name field. Add a max value of 10 and save. You'll repeat this step for all keys. A 10-point scale for persona profiles is a solid best practice for getting started. It provides enough room for differentiation without it getting too large in scale to manage. Save all your keys. Hopefully you have 5 or more to start. You will see that all of my keys make up attributes that are relatable across my personas. Some of the keys may apply to more than one persona, while others may only be relatable to one. That is fine, and that's why we need them, to help better define our profile cards. With the keys set up, we can build the cards. First, click on the Profile Cards folder. Under the Data section, choose Multiple with percentages. You will see the flexibility this gives us later on. With the keys created, create your first persona profile card. Note there is a non-persona profile card, and the main difference is that the persona version allows us to add more detail around the persona. Whether you choose a non-persona or persona profile card, setting up the keys is common and critical to a functioning profile card. Right-click on the Profile Cards folder to create. These should be named with the persona names you created when first building out personas for your company and your marketing team. Fill in as much detail about your persona as you and your team feel is important to the content authors and editors. They will be able to reference this information in the Experience Center by hovering over the profile. A picture can provide a quick visual reference as well. The critical element here is the Profile Card Value section. Recognize those keys you built? Notice the 0 to 10 slider? As you might suspect, this list will change if you edit your keys, and the sliders would change too if you edit the max, min, and default values. Feel free to play with these and make them work for you, but a 0 to 10 scale is a great starting place. Slide these key values to best represent the specific persona. Maybe, for example, one persona is 10 of one key and 2 of another. Slide the sliders and watch the radar pattern change. This profile card will define the radar pattern for given pages or assets, and as multiple pages are traversed by a customer, the collective unique pattern continues to evolve. Repeat this step for each profile card. Once all of your persona profile cards have been created, select the top main profile folder that contains all of your new keys, profile cards, and the pattern card folder. Then, Smart Publish. Make sure the Publish sub-items is selected. Once complete, they will be available for use. You will now need to apply your profile cards to pages. To start, apply them to key decision pages, landing pages, and pages with content that helps drive focus on a specific profile. In the Experience Center, under the Optimization tab, you will see a box on the far right side where you apply these profiles to your page. If you don't see it, scroll the ribbon until you do, as it seems to be designed for very wide monitors. Click the Silhouette Associate Profile card to apply your new persona profile cards to the page. In the Profile Cards dialog, you will be able to select from the different types of profile cards. For now, let's focus on the unique persona group you created by clicking the Edit button. Your profile cards will appear on the left. Click the personas that are relative to the content on this page and define percentages. If your math does not equal 100%, Sitecore will alert you. This method of percentage and multiple profiles is available because of the setting you chose on the Profile Card folder in the Marketing Control panel. Once you have set one or more personas and the percentage values are in place, you will see the pattern that your users will inherit by landing on this page. There is an option to create a custom pattern, and this option can be disabled per user or role. It is recommended that unless you are an admin, have your development partner turn this off. Once defined, click OK. Review your settings and click OK again. You will see the patterns or images in the upper right-hand corner of the ribbon. Save the page and publish. Repeat this for other pages or even assets. Let your profile cards run for 3 to 6 months to get a feel for what patterns develop and how customers explore your site, how they convert, etc. Look for patterns that relate to your business. Then, once you feel you have determined these patterns, return to the Marketing Control panel. Navigate to the Pattern Card folder. Right-click on Pattern Cards and create a pattern card. Click Insert Pattern Card. Name the card as it's related to your business. And just like the profile cards, determine how the common keys are set using the sliders. From here, you will apply the patterns to components. This is simply a rules-based personalization setup from this point. Navigate to the page in a component you wish to personalize. Choose the personalization icon in the component toolbar and add your personalization layer. Choose the content, component, or hide method and finish your selections as you would in a rules-based personalization. Edit the rule and type pattern in the search bar to pull up pattern options. Add the pattern rule of choice. Select the profile and pattern that maps to the content, and then review. Repeat for other components, but keep it simple to start. Hero banners, CTAs, etc. Save and publish. If you choose to build out a profile that is based on customer journey stage, simply build out the keys for awareness, consideration, decision, utilization, loyalty, and advocacy, or any of the journey stages that you need to add in. Set the max value for 1. This makes these keys basically an on-off switch. Build out the profile cards with the same names. In each profile card, flip the one key that matches its name to 1. Apply these to pages as you see fit. Build the pattern cards with a similar model. This way, you will be able to basically have an on-off switch for which phases of the journey a buyer is in. You can apply this across pages and content. With all items properly saved and published, as users traverse your site, they will pick up profile card patterns based on what is defined on the page. Sitecore will listen for these patterns and serve up component-level content based on the pattern it hears when the page is rendered. This can change over time and can be grouped with other rules-based goals. Out of the box, with the ability to combine goals, campaigns, and behavior, Sitecore gives you the tools to create complex personalization scenarios and drive your customers to conversion. With a keep-it-simple model that evolves over time, you and your team can carefully define content and user journeys that will conservatively lead to a 19% improvement on key performance indicators. At this point, if you've worked through all 6 episodes of my series, you are well on your way to being a power marketer in Sitecore. Don't be afraid to make mistakes and test theories. In the coming episodes, I will explore some other useful tips and tricks, analytic tools, marketing automation, and more. Thank you for your time, and I hope this helps move you forward in your experience marketing journey. Please reach out on Twitter @Sitecordial to share any ideas or questions. As always, I'd love to hear from you.